What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United in action in the Europa League Quarter Final first leg up against Lyon away from home at the Parc Olympique Lyonnais. 8 p.m. kickoff tomorrow. Manager is Paulo Fonseca, and Paulo Fonseca, he's managed a variety of Portuguese teams. Most notably, he's managed Shakhtar Donetsk, where he won the Ukrainian league a couple of times, managed Roma, he's managed Lille as well, Milan, and finally he began managing Lyon on the 31st of January 2025 this year. So far he's managed 11 games, he's won 8 and he's lost 3. So on the 31st of Jan, Fonseca returned to the French top tier with Lyon, but on March the 2nd he aggressively confronted the referee Milot at the end of a 2-1 home win over Brest. His head making contact with the referee. He was sent off for his actions, and the following day he was handed a suspension up until the 30th of November. That included the impossibility of sitting on the team's bench or entering the dressing room until the 15th of September. So he's suspended. But in terms of some insights for the match, let's take a look at some insights quick time. So Lyon have never beaten Manchester United in 4 attempts in major European competitions, drawing 2 and losing 2, only facing Barcelona more often without winning in Europe, which is played 8, drawn 3 and lost 5. Manchester United's 2 away visits to Lyon have both been in the UEFA Champions League, and on both occasions they came from behind to draw from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 in September 2004 and 1-0 down to draw 1-1 in February 2008. Lyon's 4-0 win again over FCSB in the second leg of the last 16 was their biggest win in Europe since beating Anadolu Limassol. I think that's how you say that team's name, 4-0 in November 2017. They've scored 23 goals in this season's UEFA Europa League, only scoring more in 2 major European campaigns, 29 in the 2004-05 season and 28 in the 2016-17 season. Manchester United have lost just 1 of their last 21 UEFA Europa League matches, winning 14 and drawing 6, losing 3-0 away to Seville in April 2023. That defeat also remains the only time in those 21 games where they have failed to score, and Manchester United haven't lost the first leg of any of their last 11 knockout ties, winning 5 and drawing 6 since a 1-0 home defeat to Barcelona in the UEFA Champions League in April 2019. Each of their last 3 away first leg matches have been drawn. So in terms of that's looking, there's some insights for the match. But in terms of Lyon, if you have a look at their recent form, they are coming away with a win against Lille, 2-1 in the French league. But before that, they did lose to Strasbourg 4-2, and they beat Le Havre in the league as well, 4-2 as well. They are of course coming away with beating FCSB or Steaua Bucharest 7-1 on aggregate. They beat them 3-1 in the first leg in the round of 16, and then they beat them 4-0 at home for an aggregate score of 7-1. In terms of Lyon's team news, Noma and Fofana are out, so this is how I think they're going to line up. So Perry in net, of course, Maitland-Niles at right back, Mata Nikate making up the centre back positions, then Tagliafico making up the left back, Tessman and Matic being them 2 central defensive midfielders, Tolisso, Almada and Cherki making up the front 3 in behind Lacazette. So in terms of their formation, of course, they're going to be setting up in that 4-2-3-1, possibly a 4-3-3 as well. That's the most common formation that they are playing this season. 3-4-3 as well, but it's used less frequently. In terms of their tactical principles, direct play, they've got a strong midfield, winger involvement as well. Wingers are expected to be heavily involved in attacking play, cutting inside and creating chances for themselves and others. They stretch defences and look to cut the ball inside and deliver crosses to Lacazette as well, and they press high as well. So in the final third, of course, they're going to be looking to attack the half space. Overlaps, they use overlaps to produce opportunities. In the final third, when the winger gets the ball, a Lyon player quickly makes the overlap, creating a 2v1 situation on the wing. Many players in the box as well. So, we're going to have to be looking out for that. I think they are versatile in some key ways. They have the ability to switch being patient and being explosive when it comes to moving the ball forward. Another big indicator of that versatility is how they tore FCSB or Steaua Bucharest up. Tactical identity that relies on three core principles: width and overloads, midfield pressing, midfield control and pressing as well. So out of possession though, they like to shift to being a compact mid block in a 4-1-4-1, with Matic being that sole defensive midfielder. Almada and Tesman do like to push up a little bit, and they like to and they also like to press in the formation, high press in a 4-1-4-1 as well. And Matic is usually left as the sole holding midfielder. I think if they do press, if Lyon do press Manchester United, I think that possibly in the number 10 positions or in the centre of the pitch, we can get there can be some space there, similar to what we saw against Manchester City. I think Manchester City's press wasn't connecting as it usually does against United, and there was some space that United did have to counter at Old Trafford. So yeah, Lyon also look to squeeze up the pitch when defending. This means constantly pushing the team up as much as possible. Every time the opponent plays a slow or sideways pass or a back pass, Lyon's first line of pressure pushes up, with the rest of the team following to stay compact. And so when the next pass comes, they push up even more, forcing the opponent back and away from their own goal. So in terms of to summarise the tactics, usually formation is going to be a 4-2-3-1. They prioritise passing triangles and movement, exploiting wide areas, high pressing as well, tactical flexibility. They're known for their adaptability and adjusting their formation and tactics based on the opponent and the specific match situation. And in terms of their star man, I'm gonna have to say it's Lacazette. Lacazette has got 11 goals in 25 games in League One and 3 goals in 8 games in the Europa League as well. So he's a natural finisher, good lively instinct, dangerous around the box, and if they can get crosses to him, then he is going to score, and we have to keep him quiet basically. And then if we do keep him quiet, Churchy as well, who is he's been linked with a couple of teams as well. Wouldn't necessarily mind him at Manchester United for that right 10 position. I think he'd be all right. But yeah, in terms of Manchester United, we are coming away with a 0-0 draw against Manchester City, but before that we did lose 4-1 to Forest. This was, of course, straight after the international break. We came up against Forest, and I don't think we necessarily played that bad against Forest, but we did come away with no points, and I thought we deserved at least one. Manchester City, though, I felt like as if we deserved to win that game as well. It was a ball draw, but I do felt like as if Manchester United had created the better of the chances, and we probably deserved to win the game. If we probably would have won the game if our forward front three were a little bit better in quality. But I just want to say, like, draws against Arsenal and Manchester City at Old Trafford aren't bad when Man United have been bottom half for the whole season. I think more needs to be made of how Manchester City and Arsenal were not able to break this poor Manchester United side down. And as for going forward, though, I think this is Manchester United's worst ever attack I've seen, in my opinion. Højlund, Garnacho, Xerxes and Mount. I think the jury is out on all of them, and if they don't perform, then in my opinion, I think they can leave. But so far for me, they've not been good enough in my opinion. And against Manchester City, I thought we were going to lose. I predicted a 2-0 loss, and I would have taken a draw before the game. But I think Bruno needs to play in the double pivot because Casemiro and Ugarte don't have the quality on the ball to find line breaking passes, and playing 7 defensive players hinders us going forward. But in terms of under Amorim, I think defensively and with possession in our own defensive third, we have improved under Amorim. I think under Ten Hag, we would have been exposed again in their matches against City, Forest and Arsenal at Old Trafford, and then Liverpool as well. We drew to Liverpool 2-2 at Anfield. I think, under Ten Hag, we would have been exposed doing the 4-2-4 high press and probably lost 6-0 or something. But yeah, in terms of the forward line, I do think we need an entirely new forward line in the summer. I think we need a brand new front three personally, but yeah, we'll see how the summer goes. I don't think we're going to be doing that, but we'll see how the summer goes. In terms of Manchester United team news, Martinez, Diallo, Evans, Mainu, De Ligt and Heaven are out. I think De Ligt is doubtful for the game. He could be back in the squad, but I've not got him in my starting lineup because I think he's still injured, so he's picked up that knock. So I've got Onan Rennet, of course, Mazraoui, Maguire, Euro making up the back three, Dalot, Ugarte, Fernandes and Dogu making up the four in midfield. And then I've gone with Mount, Xerxes and Højlund up front. So I've put in Mount ahead of Garnacho because I've been really frustrated with Garnacho recently. I think he's a lot better coming off the bench and starting. I don't think he's performed, the way he should have been. I've been, disappointed with Garnacho, and I think he's quite overrated. And when Napoli did come in for him, I think they came in for him in the January transfer window. I would have taken that offer that they offered him, which was 40 or 60 million, whatever it was. I would have just taken that by Napoli. But yeah, in terms of United star man, I'm gonna have to say it's Bruno. Like I've been mentioning, he creates the most chances, and Manchester United rely on him the most for assists, goals, and chance creation. He has been our player of the season so far, and I think he's going to pick up the player of the season award at the end of the season. So how do you beat Lyon? Exploit that high back line. I really think that Lyon are going to come on high press, and I think they're going to play with a high back line. And if we can get Højlund running in behind, to stretch that defense, that's going to leave more space for the likes of Mount and Xerxes to operate in them inside number 10 positions. Pace, power, strength, unpredictability, of course, on the attack. I think using the three centre-backs to build up as well when they're going to be pressing from goal kicks. I think Maguire, Mazraoui and Euro and De Ligt, if he does start, do have the quality to kind of invite the press on, invite Lyon onto us and then play out from the back. That's going to leave a lot of gaps for us to exploit. It's better than going long, in my opinion. I don't think we should go long this game. Careful on the set pieces as well. Win the second balls in the box. Wing backs have to be better going forward. I'm looking for Dalot and Dogu especially to be good outlets. Because as they're going to press and as Lyon are going to press and all the players are going to shift to one side of the pitch, that's going to leave the opposite side for someone like Dogu or Dalot in acres of space. And that's what we saw against Manchester City as well. When Manchester City did attempt to high press Manchester United, there was always that wing back outlet was always there, and sometimes we found it with a good pass, with a good switch of play, and sometimes we didn't. So hopefully Dogu and Dalot have good games and they get down, they find a lot of space going forward, and hopefully Dalot and Dogu show quality in the final third, because I think they're going to be important. Another notable point that I'm going to make is Fernandes in the double pivot. Whenever he's played in the inside 10 position, I felt like as if our ball progression hasn't been the best when Fernandes has played in the number 10 position. So I've dropped him back into the double pivot alongside Ugarte. And also when you play with Casemiro in there, with Casemiro, Ugarte in the double pivot in this 5 at the back system, that's 7 defensive players, and for me that's too defensive. And I think we need a more attacking player in the middle of the pitch, and I think Fernandes is that. I think he has shown that he can play well in this, well in the double pivot in this 3-5-2. And of course, he has a little bit attacking. He might lose the ball a little bit more often, but you've got the 3 centre backs in behind him to give that security instead of the 2. If it was 4 at the back, then of course I would be pushing Fernandes higher up the pitch. But yeah, in terms of Lyon as well, I was surprised to hear that I'll put this up on the screen right now, that Lyon will be demoted to League 2 at the end of the season if they do not improve their finances, and will be banned from signing players in January as well. So that's insane for me. I didn't know that. But yeah, in terms of our match against Lyon tomorrow, my score prediction, I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. I think Bruno is gonna score 1, and I think Lacazette is going to get on the score sheet as well. So that's my score prediction, 1-1. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully Manchester United do come away with the win. It would be really important, game of the season so far, if we get the win against Lyon. It'd be a really important win for us in the Europa League, because that's all we're playing for, really. We're not playing for anything else. The league is basically done. We're not getting relegated in the Premier League. We're not dropping down to the Championship. And, the only thing we're playing for is pretty much the Europa League. And yeah, if we do get past Lyon, hopefully we do. Hopefully we get past Lyon. I wouldn't mind a draw tomorrow either. Obviously I'm predicted a draw, and I would probably take a draw as well, because I think at Old Trafford we can do them over. And then if we do get past Lyon, then we're in the semi-finals and we're going to be up against Rangers or Athletic Club. So yeah, hopefully my prediction is wrong. I've predicted a 1-1. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully Manchester United do come away with the win against Lyon. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you after the match.